Thanks for joining me. We're here on the Batcave Beats podcast. I'm joined here by Dice, and he's gonna tell you a little bit about himself and how he got into making music.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, gang. So yeah, my name is Dylan. I go by Dice. I'm from Flint, Michigan, about 5 minutes away from Flint, Michigan. I've been making music, taken seriously for about 3 years now, but I've kind of been always involved in music, and I used to like sing in like plays when I was young, and kind of just I've always creatively expressed myself in that way, and so that's kind of just how it kind of all originally started for me, and yeah, I've just been taking it more seriously.
Awesome. So is that kind of what the extra D and the A have to do with it, like that? Because I was confused the first time I found you. I was like, is his name Dice? Is there like what is
Yeah.
the
So my name is Dylan Dicey. That's my full name. And as a kid, a lot of my friends would call me like just nicknames like Dice or like D Dice, or my last name is Dicey. So they would say like D Dicey. That's like my real, like if you were to look it up on like Spotify and whatnot, it's D Dicey, but everyone calls me Dice. Like all my people that I'm in contact with, I'm just referred to as Dice for the most part. So that's kind of like how the name relates to it. But yeah.
cool? So from the jump, were you just always into more rap music, or has it kind of changed throughout while you've been making music, or what's been your journey?
Yeah, so when I was younger, my mom would play a lot of like more singing music and like more singing stuff like Adele or like Melissa Etheridge, if you know who that is. Bruno Mars, like she played a lot of Bruno Mars. He was probably like one of my biggest inspirations just growing up. Actually, when I was young, I used to just do like radio stuff when I could, and I like sang Grenade by Bruno Mars on the radio in like third grade. And so I was originally like really into just singing, and just like my concept of music was only kind of limited to just singing. And if you were good at singing, then that's what music was. That's kind of how it started, I guess. And then as I got older, my sister, she was like older than me. So she was more in tune with like pop culture, if that makes sense. She was more in tune with like what was like trending and stuff in terms of like hip hop and just things that were going on in the real world than I was. And so she like introduced me to like Kanye and like Mac Miller and a lot of like rappers from like that generation. Like my sister put me on, and that's really how I got more into rap. And as I just started listening to more Kanye and all that, Usher, I loved Usher back in the day. Just like I got more into rap as I got older, and then that's kind of like developed my own music taste when I got to like middle school.
Nice. So who are some of your favorite current rap artists?
So like favorite or like somebody that like I'm inspired by.
Let's go with inspired by. I like that better actually. Let's go with inspired by.
Okay, so like I always say like I already mentioned them actually, but my three biggest inspirations I would say are Kanye, Mac Miller, and Bruno Mars. That's just from growing up. Obviously, uh, my style of music is like similar to people like Juice World or the Kid Laroi, and they're definitely inspirations. But I always like to say that like the most inspirational artists for me were Bruno, Kanye, and Mac, just because that's who I like kind of grew up listening to, and it kind of like in a way like formed my like personality and just the way I carry myself. It's just a mix of kind of all of their personalities.
Nice. Yeah, you mentioned the Kid Laroi. I saw your video of you rapping for him in Detroit. That was pretty cool. What kind of went into all of that?
Yeah, so it was kind of like I had to plan this out, but like it was still all in the moment. So before that happened, I had already rapped to Fabio Foreign in Detroit as well. And that was like the real spontaneous moment. But like I had already, kind of like had the mindset and had the idea of what it's like to rap in front of somebody that's like in a way, important, whatever you want to say. And
Mhm.
so his concert in Detroit was in February, and that my birthday's in February. So originally I was supposed to go for my birthday, and it was supposed to be like a birthday thing, and I was gonna get a meet and greet and all that. It was gonna be like a cool birthday present or whatever. And then it got postponed like 6 months because of COVID. So it was still a birthday thing, but I just didn't do anything on my birthday. And so I had like 6 months to kind of like prepare and like anticipate it and stuff like that, and like figure out what I was gonna do. And basically I just had a verse that I just kept adding to through over time and stuff that I wanted to make sure I say and stuff like that. And I would say it at work like over and over and over and over. And like I probably said that verse like just like a million times in my head or out loud, like to my coworkers, and they'll get like mad annoyed at me. But like leading up to it, it was a lot of that. Just like, okay, I need to make sure I get across what I'm trying to say to him, that kind of thing. And then on the day of, I got there really early. I was like the first in line. I met some people. It took them like 4 hours to like get everything ready. So I was just sitting there like having to like wait. It was all this anxiety for like 4 hours and all that. And so finally we get in there and he's just like chilling on the floor. There was a person in front of me. They take their picture. And then when I went up for my turn, I asked the security guard or the guy that was supposed to be taking the pictures. I was like, "Yeah, can you just take a video? Like it's already going because I already just started the video." And he was like sure. Like he was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't even like want a picture. Just record the whole thing." And so I go out and I said, like it's a pleasure to meet you. Like I've been a fan of you since like 2019. This that. Can I rap for you?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And then yeah, rest is kind of history. The rest we caught all on video. And I actually took a video after too of like my reaction right after, but I never posted it. But it's like I'm just like sitting there like astonished.
This is crazy. Yeah, yeah, it's a cool
Yeah.
situation you got yourself into. What was it? How did you set up the? Because I saw the 504 in one too. Like, was that just completely random and he was just in Detroit and you just like saw him or?
So me and my friend had got tickets to his concert in Detroit, like a minute before that, and I just like to get to stuff early, as you like Leroy. I got really early, so we got there probably like 2 or 3 hours before the show was supposed to start, and we parked around the corner of the venue because like we didn't want to park in the paid area because it
Right,
was
yeah.
expensive.
This is like
So we
40,
parked
50
around the
bucks.
corner, yeah. And right as we got out the car, a big, huge gold tour bus pulls in the back like parking lot, which is all gated off. And so we're like, that's gotta be Fabi. So we're standing there just waiting. People start getting off, like photographers and stuff like that. And then Fabi gets off, and I'm like instantly I just like we were just like, oh my gosh. And I just started like yelling his name, just like, yo, Fabi, Fabi. And for like some reason, like I knew that the next time I had a moment like that, I had to like do something. And I wanted to rap for somebody. Like it was something that like I wanted to do and like kind of make a staple. But I didn't imagine it going like that and see myself doing it as much as I do now, you know what I'm saying? But at the time I wanted to, try it. And that's so I just kept saying, like, let me rap for you, like, yo, let me rap for you, blah, blah, blah. And all his friends saw me first and they kind of nudged him, like, yo, there's a kid over there. He looked over, we made eye contact for like 10 seconds, then he starts walking over. He didn't say a word. He literally didn't say a word until he gets right up to the fence and he pulls out his phone. He just says, go. He just goes, go. And then, yeah, and then my friend was already recording and yeah, the rest is kind of history for that. It was crazy because right after uh he started recording, his whole like camera crew came up. And so you can't really see it in the TikTok that I posted, but there's literally like 30 cameras right next to him on the left. And so it was like a unreal moment for me. Like it's something that was like really felt like it was like meant to be, you know.
Yeah, no, it's kind of cool. I kind of just stumbled upon your music through like looking for new music, and then I heard like your line about Percy Jackson, which I was a big Percy Jackson fan, and I was like, I already like the song just for that. But then I like saw the other stuff, and I was like, this is kind of cool how like for your content creation, you just like find artists and then go up and spit some bars for them, and I think it's a really cool way to like advertise yourself to people that like need to see you, but then also like people are more likely to like look at your stuff if they see like the Kid Laroi in the video or Fabio Foreign or Armani
Yeah,
or
for
whoever it
sure.
is, you know.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Like I said, it kind of just came to be. It wasn't really like, okay, I'm gonna rap to all these people and then I'll blow up. It just kind of just happened, you know. And that's just kind of how everything's been going. It's just one thing after another.
Nice. So how was your birthday trip? If you wanna, I don't know, we don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but just curious
Oh
how
yeah.
your trip was and
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was like life changing. So New York is I've wanted to go to New York City my entire life. Like